Hi, I'm Stephen with AlbertaUrbanGarden.ca. 2016 has been a fantastic year in the garden and on YouTube. I've produced more food out of the same space than I ever have before, and I've preserved more as well. To top a great gardening season off, the grapes that I got from my grandfathers have finally produced, and this year I've been enjoying jam and jelly on Sunday mornings with my son. Today I'm going to go through the top 8 gardening tips as decided by you, the viewers. This list is based on the 2016 videos that I've posted and is ranked based on the number of views that they've received. Links to all the videos can be found in the description below, and I'll put a playlist to all of them at the end of this video. As I go through the top 8 videos, I'll touch on how each one of these videos has contributed to the Alberta Urban Garden motto of simple, organic, and sustainable gardening. Number 8. How to make easy compost. This is one of my more recent videos where I show you how to make an easy compost. This video actually started off as a video blog, but through the editing process, it kind of evolved into a how-to video. I've relied on free and local resources to fertilize my garden for the last 4 years. I take resources generated in my yard and kitchen, and using a simple method of composting, I showed how I made wonderful compost that has helped me avoid having to apply store-bought fertilizers over the last 4 years. Referring back to my 3-part motto of simple, organic, and sustainable, making an easy compost hits all of them. By taking these free and local resources that are generated in my community and using a simple method of composting, I get an organic compost that fertilizes my garden for free. Because I'm using compost to fertilize my garden, not only am I diverting the things that I've put in my compost from landfill, but I do not have to purchase non-renewable fertilizers, helping me to improve the sustainability of my garden. Number 7. Installing a rain barrel for beginners. You would not have known in late summer here in Alberta, but oftentimes water is the most scarce resource in my garden. As many of you know, I've been collecting cold hardy food-producing perennials, and the collection is quite important to my goal of sustainable, cost-effective food production. Perennials are a one-time investment that, if cared for, will produce food for you for years to come. If we should have a drought, the water in my largely recycled DIY rain barrels will help me keep my perennials alive. At the very least, I can save the energy and effort it takes to clean drinking water by using rainwater in my garden instead. I see my rain barrels as a little bit of an insurance policy, helping me with my goal of cost-effective, sustainable food production. Number 6. Grow a lot of food in a small garden. 10 easy tips. A number of years ago, my father challenged me to see how much food I could produce in my limited garden space. At first, I had no idea even where to start, but over time, as I started to learn how to increase the production in my garden space, I continually am surprised how simple it really is. Most of these tips at their core are very simple and do not take a whole bunch of time. These tips have helped me produce record organic crops year after year. The best part is, by using these methods, I am able to spend more time enjoying my garden and less time doing chores in it. Number 5, potato growing hack to double harvests. Potatoes have to be one of my favorite crops. They are easy to grow and often produce quite healthy crops. The only issue that I've had with them is they take up so much space. So years ago, I moved over to growing them in cloth pots that I could place in underutilized spaces in my garden. These pots are great, and shortly after planting them the first year, I figured out that I could double my harvests by simply taking advantage of the vertical space in the bag. This simple trick has helped me double my harvests while not actually taking any time at all. Number 4. Does compost tea work? These videos certainly evoked some debate when I released them. In a 2-part series, I evaluated compost extractions and actively aerated compost teas. The premise of these videos was to test some of the claims made about compost tea. In part 1, I sent samples into the lab of a typical homemade compost tea, and in part 2, I researched claims using peer-reviewed literature. I made sure to state the limitations of my citizen science project and any assumptions that I had made. The purpose of the Testing Garden Assumptions series is to take the practices that I have implemented in my garden and to see if they hold up to scientific inquiry. It was never intended to dictate how you should garden. Rather, I would like to show you the evidence that I've gathered so that you can take that back and evaluate in the context of your garden practices. The Testing Garden Assumptions series has single-handedly been the largest contributor to my goal of simple gardening. By dropping methods that simply don't hold up to the scientific inquiry, I've been able to spend more time enjoying my garden. Number 3, how and why I use eggshells to fertilize my organic garden. And number 2, fertilize your organic garden for free with banana peels. Numbers 2 and 3 are very similar. From time to time, I take a look at resources that people recommend to add to your compost to see if they hold up to the claims made about them. Oftentimes, people claim these materials have certain nutrients or characteristics that will increase the fertility of your garden. In the case of eggshells and banana peels, they certainly live up to the hype. Both have nutrients that are beneficial and essential to plant growth. These resources are extremely common worldwide. This, among with other resources such as wood ash and human urine, can be used to grow food locally at little to no cost. By teaching people how to use these resources, I think there's a real potential to simply and sustainably improve local food security regardless of where you are. Some people did mention that eggshells may not release their nutrients easily. When this was brought to my attention, I did do some research, and other than a couple of opinion pieces, I did not find any compelling evidence one way or another. That aside, it does not change the fact that when I have eggshells, I'm going to add them to my compost, hopefully to add nutrients, but if nothing else, they will help improve the soil structure and divert them from landfill. Number 1, fruit tree grafting for beginners. My number 1 viewed video that was released in 2016 was my introduction to fruit tree grafting. And I have to say, I am very excited about this, as I've quite enjoyed learning how to graft 2 fruit trees and look forward to many years exploring this subject matter in greater depth. A common problem in urban yards like mine is there is limited space. Grafting allows me to continue to add perennial varieties while not needing to expand my garden. Having more varieties in close proximity also improves the pollination rates, further increasing the harvests we are able to enjoy. Similar to most other gardening tips that I've talked about today, grafting does not have to be complicated. I showed one of the simpler methods of grafting to fruit trees in this video, and I've enjoyed an 85% success rate with it. With a little understanding, a simple method can be very effective. I would love to know your favorite garden tip that you learned this year in the comment section below or on the Alberta Urban Garden Facebook page. As 2016 comes to an end, I wanted to thank you guys for your continued support of the Alberta Urban Garden YouTube channel, and I look forward to spending 2017 with you. If you'd like to continue to support my channel and our community, please make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified when I post a new video. From my family to yours, have a happy and safe holiday season.